Hello all, welcome to VJ SAP. Today we are going to talk about how to give a proposal to a project. It can be a big project, it can be a small project, but these are the things we have to follow, right? And very first, very beginning thing, what we have to do is we have to prepare an architecture diagram, right? If it is an existing system, we have to prepare a as is architecture diagram and a proposed new architecture diagram. If it is not an existing system or existing project, we have to create for a new architecture diagram for new project. What I have taken here is I have taken one of the existing architecture which is available in the customer place. Based on that, I have taken this architecture diagram and the proposal what I am going to give it to customer is for customer is having only a primary site. Now the customer is looking for a DR implementation. So if you want to give a proposal for like this of like this project, how to do that? Now, so if the very first screen, if you see it here, it's talk about as is architecture. So as I told, the customer is already having a existing landscape, existing systems. So customer is having a three type of users here: VPN user, Citrix user, Office network users. So Office network user, they will connect to the Office Wi-Fi and then directly access their SAP systems. Whereas VPN users and Citrix users, these are the third-party user, or you can say that vendors. They will connect through a VPN or they'll connect through Citrix via firewall. So now if you see here on this as is architecture diagram, we have a SAP development system, we have SAP QA system, we have SAP prod system. All three systems it is running on the HANA systems. So we have two boxes. One is HANA primary, another one is HANA secondary. HANA primary only production system HANA database are running. Secondary, no HANA database of production or DR. So here only node 2 of your production system data is running and rest all your development systems, right? Your non-production system, development, quality, pre-prod like this. So what exactly this means? HANA primary, you have a primary, you have a one node, and secondary, you have a HANA along with non-production databases. Now I'll go back to the second one, S4 HANA with DR option. What exactly the customer is looking for, which we are proposing here. So VPN user, Citrix user, Office network user will be remain the same, and development system, quality system, pre-prod system, and production system, everything will be remain the same. HANA primary, HANA secondary. In between, we have a HPE service guard. That is also will be remain the same. This is for cluster mechanism. Whenever we have an issue node 1, so it will switch to node 2, and whenever we have an issue on node 2, so it will switch back to the node 1. It's a cluster mechanism. It's a cluster. Another one we call as a replication. So between primary to HA, so we have a replication enabled. So whatever the change is happening on the primary side, it will go to the secondary node. Along with that, we have a development quality, which will be remain the same. Now what we are additionally adding here is a replication, a DR site. Right, you see that we are enabling DR site here, node 3, system DB and production data DRs. So replication will be happen, and also we are proposing one application server on the DR side. If something happen your entire primary site, what will happen? DR will be remain the same, and you can access the DRs as well. This is for S4 HANA system. Same thing for BW4 HANA. So same proposals. You see that DR we are additionally adding here, and PO also same thing. So we are adding another node for PO. So additionally, what we are proposing for web dispatcher, right? We are proposing standalone web dispatcher will be installed and configure file from primary to DR server. So all the files whatever we are already having on the primary site, so that will be copied to the DR server. So you can use a multiple web dispatcher, that is also we are proposing, but possible ways also we explained here, but we are proposing only the standalone one. So we are also given help.sap.com to review the more information on this site. Another one is Cloud Connector. What we are talking about Cloud Connector, first of all let me explain Cloud Connector. So in layman language, to connect between your SAP BTP to your on-premises system, Cloud Connector is the one software will be act as a mediator. So Cloud Connector also we are proposing here. Standalone Cloud Connector will be installed in a DR site. Config file copy from the primary to DR. So already primary side we have a Cloud Connector, so we are copying all the files to the DR site. Configure DR site with the primary Cloud Connector. So these are the things we are proposing. Now when it comes to a solution manager with DR, everything will be remain the same option, but currently what is happening is we have a Java and a web system running on the Sybase, but we don't have a replication at to the DR site. So there are two approaches we are proposing. One is backup and restore, another one is replication. When I say backup and restore, so they have to take the backup and restore it, build the system. And if it is a replication, so obviously what are the changes it is happening in the system on the primary side, so automatically that will be replicated to the second side. So this I keep it as open because the customer needs to uh, get the confirmation on this. Now what I'll do is here a scope of work. So we are giving proposal to the customer, and first of all you have to know what work you are doing it, right? So you have to define it scope of work. As part of DR implementation, you see that these are the items which I have highlighted here. If you are doing a different project or if you are doing a different proposals, then you have to define your related project scope of work here. So DR, SAP and DB installation, right? Data backup copy will be transferred from the primary to DR. Data restore configuration, replication from HANA from primary to DR. Sybase replication configured. Backup and restore will be performed for a Sybase system. OSDR validation. HANA database installed for S4 HANA system, BW system, PO system. Cloud connector will be installed and configured. Web dispatcher installed and configured. Configuring DR server SAP system in a DR website, right? In a DR site. Checking size on the primary and DR. Connectivity checking between primary and DR site. Software download, SWPM, Oracle DB, application related softwares, everything will be HANA softwares, everything will be downloaded here. Documents for the migration activity performed will be shared. If you are doing a migration, if you are doing a DR activity, so everything will be shared. Installation licensing, installing license, if you are installing anything, that is also covered under your scope of work. Import and adjust profile parameters, if you are doing anything, if you are doing any DR or another project, so if this is applicable you have to put it. Now we are talking about scope of work. At the same time we have to talk about out of scope, which will not cover in your initial proposal, right? Any software components, runtime or product error are fixing the same. So you have a software but you have a runtime or product issue, then you are not you are not agreeing to fix that issue. Any software components related to notes and patch update you are proposing. So currently this proposal is only for DR. It is not for any upgrade. So you have to explicitly mention what you are doing, what you're not doing. So that's the reason I am mentioning here. Any software components related to notes and patch updates will not be covered here. Any work related to the third party interfaces? No. Coordination with the third party vendors, customer, SAP, OEM, regular authorities. So coordination, everything will be done by a customer side or project managers, not by executor. Audit agencies, banks, sub. So you no need to interact with them. Subcontracted ECC, you no need to give this subcontract. SAP modules, functionalities other than listed scope. Okay, only basis. So let's say if you're talking about only basis, you have to explicitly mention only SAP basis module will be covered, not other functionalities. Designing any policy definition and communication templates. No, you're not going to talk about it because this is already existing one. Data extraction, cleansing, conversion, validation will be done by client. So you don't need to do that once. It will be done by a customer because you are not doing any migration here. Execution for user acceptance test, UAT, any other items not explicitly mentioned in a scope, standard customized Fury mobile application implementation, OS level support, SAP router, disaster recovery and cluster is not in our scope. Disaster recovery with the cluster is not our scope. Okay, so you have to mention like what are the scope and what are the out of scope things now. Okay, so what you have done, you have created a architecture diagram, you have created a what work you're going to perform, what work you're not going to perform. Now which methodology, like how you are going to deploy this one. For that, what we are doing is we are using a SAP active methodology and approach. Okay, so project timelines, week 1 to week 7. First of all, you have to identify how many weeks this project is going to take, right? And week 1, so let's say in this scenario, so I have created week 1 to week 7. The week 1 2 development system, week 3 4 quality system, week 5 6 production system, week 7 hyperk is nothing but is a PCLS. On premises servers, what are the things you're going to do it on week 1 and 2, and week 1 week 2 week 3 and 4 5 and 6 and 7, right? All the things whatever you have defined the scope, this is you will be going to do it, right? So which means the 1 2 you will be implementing your DR and installing all the DRs and everything, you will be doing it this. So you have to mention the project timelines there. Next one is roles and responsibilities. That's your roles and responsibility, what you will do. A project manager from your end, a consultant from your end. Prepare detailed project plan will be done by your project manager. Manage predefined scope, timelines, staffing and project schedule. Manage day-to-day aspect of project. Help resolve the issues, controls and manage the project. Identify. So all these management related things will be managed by a project manager. And you're gathering business requirement, preparing deliveries, finalizing functional design, finalizing migration templates, DR templates, preparing test scripts, support customer, train the customer, document, provide documents. So everything will be done by a consultant. So there are the roles and responsibilities you are defining there. Now, client. So earlier what you have done, your responsibility, your roles and responsibilities. Now what we are doing is we are doing for a client roles and responsibilities. First one is project manager, business team, IT team. When it comes to clients, there are several teams involved in the particular a project. So what project manager is going to do it, those things you have defined there. So business team, what they will do it, IT team, what they will do it. So everything you have to mention client roles and responsibilities and your company roles and responsibilities. So this project, if you want to carry forward any projects with a successful ratio, so you have to work with a collaboration, right? Collaboration with the customer. After that, once you define a roles and responsibilities, you go for a RACI matrix. We call it as a RACI. R is responsible, A is accountable, C is consulted, informed, accountable, responsible. So when you say responsible, that means you are responsible. Accountable means you are the one who's accountable, like you will be the delivered the partner. Consulted means you have to consult them. Inform means you have to just inform, so this is what happening in the project, so you just need to inform. So you have to define a deliverables, right? What are the deliveries, you have to write it, and who is the responsibility. So those things you have to do it there, right? After that, what you have to do, you have to given a estimations. What estimations you have to do? On premises server, DR server, software downloads on premise. So what are the tasks you are going to carry forward during this project? For this project, you have to write a number of days, 4 to 10, whatever the times you want to do it. Remarks, if it is a parallel, you have to mention parallel. If not parallel, it is not parallel. So two basic resources. If we require two basis resources, you have to define how many resources you required, how many days you required. So currently what I have written here is I needed two basis resources and 35 days requirement for this to complete this entire project. So total, like this, what you have to do is you have to provide a proposal to the customer. Once you see this one, what will happen after that, the commercials will come into the picture. So based on the two resources and two basis resources and project managers and your coordination, collaboration, coordination, everything will come. And then based on that, how many hours you need to spend on that particular thing, the particular project, and you need to estimate accordingly. Okay. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please put your questions in the description or in the comment section. You please let me know, so I'll try to sort all your questions. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day. We'll catch up in a next video.